Everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Katie, and today I am announcing a very special readathon happening in February. So today I am announcing a very fun readathon that is going to be happening in February. I am co-hosting with a bunch of other booktubers. We are announcing the Once Upon a Faebruary because it is a fairy tale readathon or fairy tale retelling readathon. So you do not have to read entirely fairy tale retellings. We do require that you read one. So as long as you read one, then you're good to go. One book total, then you're good to go. But just one fairy tale retelling, and then the rest of the books don't have to be fairy tales at all. You can read whatever you want. So I will have some recommendations in this video, and then during my TBR TBR around the world TBR game, I will announce my TBR as well for this. So I already have my books picked out actually, and I was able to fit in 3 books. Yes, 3 books for all 9 of these prompts. And yes, you can double, triple, quadruple, quin, whatever it's called when you 5 times prompt. You can combine prompts. And it was just nice because I do have a lot of books to read the next couple of months for reviews and other stuff that I have planned. But it was nice to just fit 3 books and do all the prompts. So that was exciting, and I can't wait to share with you what I picked for that in my TBR later on this month. But without further ado, let's go ahead and share all the prompts, and I'll give you a couple recommendations for each one. So this will happen the entire month of February. I'm just so excited because I am a huge fan of fairy tales, and no, I do not read a lot of them. I honestly wish I read more of them. I probably should, because honestly, they are one of my favorite. They are one of my absolute favorite genres of books. I love fairy tale retellings. I mean, or even just regular fairy tales. I have a couple of classic fairy tales on my classic shelf, which you can't see because I'm always sitting in front of it. I have a bunch of I have quite a few that are fairy tale retellings on my bookshelves, but I just really I'm so happy that my friend Taylor over at Tales and Treats with Tay, she's the one who invited all of us to do this, and I'm just so excited that she asked me because I love fairy tale retellings, and I've been wanting to do, honestly, a fairy tale type readathon. So I think it's going to be lots of fun. Okay, so I do have graphics down below, so you can print them out if you want to use them in your reading journal. I'm sure most of us will have the printables because I volunteered myself because I knew I was like, nobody else is going to do it, but I didn't mind because I do like to make graphics. So I made the graphic for this one, and thankfully I did not print it out too big because I actually have to, what I do is I use Collage, which is an app, and I shrink down whatever size I think it will be. And thankfully, it just made it. Like, literally, top to bottom, it barely made it. And I used my sticker paper, so thankfully it did fit. I did have to cut off a little bit off the top, but definitely not the title. So this is the graphic. I will put it up here, scoot over, as I'm talking about all the prompts. But this is what it looks like. It looks like so much fun. I love the pink, very fairy tale feeling. But we have 3 different kind of, what would you call them? Steps, I guess, or goals. So if you complete only 1 prompt, you are titled as a Pixie. So if you complete 1 prompt, you are a Pixie. Congratulations. And make sure to tag me, any of the other hosts of this readathon, or use the hashtag onceuponafaebruary, and just tag that, hashtag that, or tag one of us on Instagram or wherever you share your posts, because we have a special graphic for you if you complete these different steps. So it'll be fun to share those with you too once that is complete. We won't share it here, although some of us might accidentally in our printables, but that's okay. I won't. I'll keep it as a surprise. All right, so before I go through those again, I forgot to announce my co-hosts. That's important. That's very important. I even put it on the graphic to make sure. But it is Tales and Treats with Tay. It is myself at Paperbacks and Ponytails. It is Celestria, The Writing Songbird, Cat's Stories, and Christy A. Cole. So we are all having fun co-hosting this event. We're going to have reading sprints throughout the month. I think we're going to have maybe 2. I know one's going to be on my channel on the 16th, whatever that Friday is of that week. I will be hosting sprints. And I know Taylor, I think, is hosting reading sprints the week before. So we will keep you posted on that as well. All right, so if you complete 1 prompt, as I said, you are a Pixie. So congratulations. If you complete 7 prompts, which is about half the prompts, you are a princess or a prince, because obviously we want to include the guys too. If you're reading and you love fairy tale retellings or fairy tales, please join us and have fun. And then the last one, which is if you complete all the prompts, you are a godmother or godfather. So if you complete all of them, you are the crowning joy of fairy tale books, where literally, yes, a fairy godmother or that type is usually found in a lot of fairy tales, or some kind of fairy. So we got that going. All right, so we got tons of fun prompts. The first one is Red Rose, which is red on the cover. So as far as fairy tale retellings go, but if you're looking for a sweet romance, Plot Twist by Bethany Turner has red on the cover, and the giant hearts, and it's a perfect sweet rom-com for February. So that would count. All my recommendations are fairy tale retellings, because I haven't read that many lately, and I don't remember what I read. So we're trying. So spoiler alert, I'm reading this one, but this is a fairy tale retelling that has red on the cover, so we're gonna count it, even though I haven't read it yet. But I know I'm gonna love it. It's Melanie Dickerson. She's one of my she is my favorite fairy tale retelling author. I love her so much. So yes, we're gonna include Cloak of Scarlet by Melanie Dickerson. Definitely red on the cover. And this is a Big Bad Wolf, Little Red Riding Hood retelling. So that counts. She also has a new one coming out, I think actually next month, if not the end of this month, which is a Jack and the Beanstalk retelling. So pick that one up if you've already read this one. That counts as well. Next one is Fairy Godmother prompt, and this one is a gender flipped retelling. So this is when an author takes a fairy tale like Cinderella, but she makes Cinderella, like the poor pauper, makes him into a guy, and then the prince is now a princess. So it's flipping the storytelling. So I actually have one. Not going to share because that's part of my TBR. Notice me spoiling everything here. But I actually do have one that works for this, and it's one of my favorite ones. And again, it's a Melanie Dickerson, but I don't own it. And that is what is it called? This is what happens when you're sick. You forget the books and titles, especially one of your favorite books. I think it's called The Peasant's Dream, but don't quote me. I'll put the cover here. But this is a gender flipped Cinderella retelling, which is it's my favorite Cinderella retelling. It made me just hug the book and love it so much, and I really do love it. So definitely check it out. And so yeah, that's going to be my gender flipped recommendation. If you haven't read it, pick it up and read it. It's really good. Okay, the next prompt is Marry Men, male main character. So this is honestly, it's probably going to be pretty tough to actually recommend one, because I don't know if I've ever read any, if I'm being honest. You're most likely going to go well with like the Frog Prince retellings, Peter Pan retellings, stuff like that. You're going to find main characters. Maybe even, Beauty and the Beast. That one, that's good. I think. Don't quote me, but I think, I'm not sure if like one of the Beauty and the Beast retellings is by the Beast's retelling. There's got to be one out there, and I know I've read one, but can't remember. But I want to put the cover here because I know of what I'm thinking of. I just can't remember what it's called, but I think it might be the male character. But I'm not sure. So we'll think. We'll think about that one. But like, I don't think I do have Peter Pan retellings, but Peter Pan's actually not the main character. He's kind of like, I would say if there's like 2 like main characters throughout the books, I would count it, honestly, even though you're getting like one perspective, like you're getting the female perspective, but the male character like shows up a lot, like throughout the entire books. I would consider that okay. So like Dust and Shadow by Kara Swanson, these are Peter Pan retellings, but the main character is a girl. But Peter Pan is a main character in the book, so I would say that's fine. Okay, Evil Stepmother is a notorious villain. So again, Cloak of Scarlet would work because this is Big Bad Wolf. Dust and Shadow would work again by Kara Swanson because that has Captain Hook in it. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, you could do Little Mermaid retellings with whatever her name is, Ursula. Wow. But you can literally do anything. Again, an evil stepmother. And a notorious villain, it does not have to be a main character. I wouldn't think so. Just has to have that character in the story. So like, let's see. This one, let's see what this one is. This one is a Sleeping Beauty retelling, Veil of Winter by Melanie Dickerson. So I know, I mean, there's villains in most of her stories, so that would work. I mean, any of Melanie Dickerson's could possibly work. You could even, I would say, it just says Notorious Villain. So, I don't know, this might be a stretch, but you could even do Notorious Villains as in, like, other things aside from fairy tales, but, like, that same kind of, like, fantasy realm. Like, you could do Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde retellings, you could do Frankenstein retellings, you could do a bunch of different things from a notorious villain aspect. And so, yeah, so we'll see what I pick. Probably could have already spoiled that one too. But yeah, so anything that has a notorious villain in it. Sounds good. Sounds good to me. I love a good villain story. Next one is Pixie Dust, and that is a magical character. So a book that has a magical character, it could be dragons, it could be fairies, it can be pixies, it can be unicorns, it can be a flying Pegasus horse. It could be, anything that is just a magical creature in the fairy tale realm. I know Donita K. Powell has a really good dragon series. If you've never checked out her books, you should. They're amazing. I read those in, I think, late high school, early college, and they were really good. I remember really loving that series. So that's a great example for a magical creature. Again, Dust and Shadow by Kara Swanson has, I'm telling you, if you read Dust and Shadow, you could probably finish most of these prompts. Dust and Shadow has fairies and pixies and stuff like that. And Peter Pan, I mean, he's a magical creature, I guess. No, actually not really. Well, no, he was a boy at one point, wasn't he? I don't know. Anyways. Really loud motor going by. Anyway, so anything with a magical creature. What else? So I love books with dragons, so like that would probably be one of my top choices because I do love it. I don't know what I'm reading. I can't remember what I picked. Oh, I think I have something with a magical frog in it. So maybe. I don't remember actually which one I picked for that one. Next prompt is Midnight. Last to read a book. So this one, I mean, this is for anybody. I mean, a book that's been popular or a book that's been published for quite a while and you have just been the last to read it. I mean, I could pick any fairy tale retelling that's been around for quite a while. I'm not a huge fan of all the Twisted Tales. I do like some of them more than others. There is one that I've been wanting to read, which is the Blue Fairy retelling, the Pinocchio one. I have been wanting to read that one. So, possibilities. I don't know exactly, like, I mean, there's not like super, this. I could pick, this isn't fairy tale retelling, but Lady Jane Disappears by Joanna Davidson Politano. Everybody's been reading that for the past year or two. Have I read it? No. And that's on my list of 25 books to read in 2024, so yeah, that has possibilities. But anything, honestly, that you think you haven't read, I'm probably going to even do Cloak of Scarlet because this has actually been out for quite a few months. I think this released back in, if I'm not mistaken, it was like October or maybe November. But it's been out for a little while, and so, like, I feel like I'm the last one to read it, because, like, I tend to, ooh, it's a red book, I just realized that, that's pretty. Anyways, but I am usually the first to read a Melanie Dickerson book, and I feel like I'm the last one to read this one right now, so I am probably going to pick up this one for that as well, so, spoiler alert. Next prompt is Bluebeard, a lesser known retelling. So, this could be anything that's just not really retold a lot. So like Goldilocks, The Frog Prince. Just trying to give you examples of ones. Rumpelstiltskin. I'd love to find more Rumpelstiltskin. I have an obsession with him ever since Once Upon a Time TV series. So yeah, that. But anything that's just not really told. The Goose Girl. There's not too many Goose Girl retellings, so that would count as a lesser known retelling. Just nothing like Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Rapunzel. None of that, because that's been like overused and overdone. Just and Beauty and the Beast and stuff. But just one that like we really don't know much about, or you rarely hear retellings. So I think it's gonna be fun to pick something for that one. Do I have recommendations for it? Well, the Goose Girl. I mean, obviously there's retellings for that. I have actually been wanting to read. There is one called The Goose Girl, I think, and I haven't read it yet. So I should pick that one, but will I? Probably not. Yeah. So that should be lots of fun to pick. I honestly don't have any recommendations for that one. My other friends probably will because they have read more retellings than I have lately. And also a lot of retellings tend to be on Kindle Unlimited, and I don't have that option very often. So I have it until February, but I don't get a chance to read too many Kindle Unlimited books. I wish I did, honestly. I might even go ahead and purchase it for a few months, maybe later on in the year. Who knows? Okay, the next prompt is, I'm going to put these down. Okay, that way my reading journal is not so heavy. Okay, the next one is wolf, an animal integral to the plot. So it's an animal that is important to the plot. It's part of the plot. So like you could pick a Swan Princess retelling, which is actually one of my favorite stories ever. And I actually did have one that picked out, but I changed it. And it has a main male character. If I can find the book cover, I'll show it here. But it was like a Swan Prince gender flipped retelling too. And so I do love the Swan Princess. It's one of my favorite stories, like Swan Lake, Swan Princess, that type of thing. So definitely that would work. Like again, Cloak of Scarlet by Melanie Dickerson, because it's a Big Bad Wolf retelling. So I mean, it doesn't have an animal really in the story, but like it's kind of implied that he is the Big Bad Wolf, the bad guy. So kind of counts, not really, but we'll say yes. What else has like a main character? Wizard of Oz, Toto. I mean, I don't even know if he's actually like in the book that much. Oh, the Cowardly Lion though. Obviously, he's an animal, so that would work. What else? But yeah, just anything that integrates an animal. Maybe Little Mermaid retellings might have some animal aspects to it because animal aspects are in the movie a lot. So that could possibly work if an animal is a big part of the story. I mean, Ursula is kind of an octopus creature, so you could count that as well. Okay, the next prompt is musical voice. A book incorporates music or singing. And hello, Little Mermaid. Any Little Mermaid retelling would obviously work for this. Yeah, totally, 100%. I've read, this is not fairy tale retelling, but it does incorporate music, which is The Lost Melody by Joanna Davidson Politano. If you like kind of gothic feeling Victorian literature told in a modern way, this is really, really good and definitely entails a lot of music and made me listen to piano music as I was reading it. It was that good. What else incorporates music or singing? Cinderella, because she goes to the ball. There's obviously music at the ball. You can totally count Cinderella retelling as that. I would. I totally would. What else incorporates singing? I mean, honestly, if you watch any Disney movie, there's singing involved. So like, the next prompt is a long locks. Girl with long hair. So that's on the cover. A girl with long hair on the cover. I mean, if it's described in the book as a girl having long hair, count that too. I mean, if it's not on the cover, that's fine. If it's in the description of the girl, then that's fine too. So anything with a long-haired girl on the cover, I don't think those count, no. Some of these from Melanie Dickerson probably count. Veil of Winter, she obviously has long hair on there. Castle of Refuge by her. So honestly, most of Melanie Dickerson's books have a girl with long hair, and unfortunately the one that I will be reading does not. But that's okay. Well, actually she does, but it's just pinned up. But she does have long hair. Court of Swans and Cloak of Scarlet. She does have long hair, but it's just pinned up. You can tell her hair is long because of that thick, giant bun in her hair. Her hair is long, you can tell. But yeah, just any girl with long hair on the cover. It'll work great. All right, so the next prompt is Snow Queen on a quest. So if I'm being honest, is there a fairy tale retelling that the character is not on a quest? I mean, any of Melanie Dickerson's books would work. Dust and Shadow, again, from Kara Swanson. Seriously, there is not going to be a fairy tale retelling that does not have a quest in it. No, not at all. So yeah, any fairy tale retelling would absolutely work for this prompt, 100%. And then the last prompt is Thumbelina, a short book. So I would say anything under 250 is a short book. This could be different for other people. Like if you read tomes like that are like 5 to 900 pages, 300 could be short for you, 400 could be short for you. So this kind of is more of like a generic, like what's short for you type of thing. For me, short is under 250. So I think the one I picked, I think is like 230 or something like that. So it's fairly short. I know most people will probably say under 200, but I'm going to say under 250 for the majority of us because usually an average book ranges about 300 to 400 pages. So I'd say 250 and less would be considered a short read, at least for myself, because most of the books I read are usually between 350 and 400. So 250 and less for me personally. Could be different for you. Could be 100 or less for you. Who knows? If you can find a really short one that's like 50 pages, go for it. Go for it. It works. All right, so those are all of the prompts. I don't have any short reads for you recommended necessarily, but if you go on like Amazon and you find a book that you like, just scroll down and it will have the number of pages it is. So that's what I usually do. That's what I did when I picked my book. But if you need a recommendation for a prompt, let me know down in the comments. I will ask my co-host, because obviously I'm not the greatest with fairy tale retelling since I haven't read too many, or I used to read a lot, but they kind of left the coop up here. They just flew off and went away, and I can't remember any of them at the moment. But I think this is gonna be a fun readathon. It's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait. I will probably honestly be reading as many fairy tale retellings as I can, but if I can't, I at least have 3 that will fill all the prompts, and I will be able to fill them all in. That way I at least have the prompts finished. Even if I can't read more than 3, I am hoping to get at least, I want to read at least 6 to 8 retellings if I can. So that's the plan. We'll see how it goes. All right, so I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all in the next video.